Being a entrepreneur is a journey in itself, especially if you are putting out bodies of work. And the times that we live in where everything is so fast paced, you may feel pressure into putting out work as quick as possible. However, in the long run, that doesn't usually work out well because you're putting out half the work and you're not perfecting your craft. So therefore, you might not gain a loyal fan base, or you might not have returning customers, so on and so forth. Versus when you take the time out and really perfect your craft and really put in the care and the love into your work, you will get a better return on that if you really pace it out. And I'm going to talk about that in this video. Don't rush the process. Right now, in my path that I'm on, I'm getting ready to put out a few books. And I'm still writing, but there are some that is done. And the one that I'm putting out first, I retold a story of Cinderella, and I made it like a dark, twisted fairy tale. And I'm very proud of my work. And I just got finished doing the cover art for it. I'm finishing up formatting how the book is going to be. And I just put it through copyright. So I'm in that end part of this book that I'm putting out. And the people that read this book so far, they really love it. Some people haven't. I just showed them my cover art. I even showed them the description, and they can't wait till it comes out. And people have been asking me about it, and it's pretty cool. And it's exciting to see how excited everybody else is. But at the same time, I'm not gonna fall for the pressure because a lot of people have been telling me to hurry up, get it out. You've been talking about writing books for quite some time now, and da 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 da. Which I get where they're coming from. I do. But if I was to half-fast pace this, I wouldn't get a great return on the work that I'm putting out, because the reason why the people who read my book so far, the reason why they really like it, the reason why some of them couldn't put the book down, the reason why the cover art that I'm showing to people, they're like, oh wow, like you're talented. The description, everything else. The reason why I'm getting such good feedback so far is because I really put in the work into crafting my art. Like, I've been writing for a very long time now. Like, I've been writing poetry and stuff like that since I was a little kid. But like writing stories and whatnot, I started that when I was 20. I knew that I wanted to write. And I'm 29 now. And through the course of 20 and 29, I've been constantly writing, working on my material, finding my voice, finding where I stand when it comes to like certain themes. Like I found in my journey that I'm pretty much like, I write a lot of dark stories. And I've been knew this though, because since I was little, I either wrote like dark poetry or like love poetry, but not too often. It was mainly dark. But I knew I was that type of writer. But I wasn't confident yet into writing that type of stuff. So it took me some time to stand on what I'm writing, finding my voice, finding my writing style, and being confident, because that's another thing too. You don't want to have put out your work, because it takes time to find your voice. It takes time to find your art style, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever videos you're making, if you're writing books yourself, comedy, whatever it is. Like, it takes time to find your character, your personality, and your work, and that's what's going to make you stand out. So don't rush the process. Being confident. Like, some of the things that I wrote in this book, Cinderella, I was afraid to show certain people at first, because the things that I've put down. And it's really great to write material that is going to be uncomfortable for others. Like, I know my book is not going to cater to everyone. And I was a little scared to, show some people and stuff like that. But eventually I had to get over it, because it's like, in order for me to put out my work, like, I have to show people and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, I can't just quietly just put out this little body of work that I got going on and expect like a bunch of sales. Like, I have to get used to talking about my stuff. And some of the people that I showed it to, surprisingly, they like it. And some people want to ask me questions like, where was my thought process at when I was writing what I was writing? There is someone that wants to pick my brains because of what they read, but that's due to just being like very open with myself and being confident and knowing who I am, and this is what I'm going to write about, and this is what I stand on, and perfecting the heck out of it. I mean, nothing's perfect. Like, even though I'm about to put out my first book, like, I'm still going to continue on learning how to write better. So, don't rush the process. Being confident, like, stand 10 toes down with your work. Don't fall for the pressure. Like, if you fall for the pressure, then the foundation that you built is just going to crumble. Another thing too is learning from separating yourself from your work by the time everything is ready to go, and also learning how to market. And the reason why I feel like a lot of artists fail and how I could potentially fail is based on the fact that a lot of us are sensitive about our work. That whole saying, I'm an artist and yes, I'm sensitive about my shit. Well, that I definitely get. But at the same time, that is going to hurt you in the long run, being too sensitive about your craft. Now, the reason why a lot of artists that you see out there who aren't as half as good as you are, but yet you hear them on the radio, you see them on TV, social media, whatever. The reason why they have a bigger platform than you is because they are not really artists. They're just in it for the short-term gain of money, and therefore they're not connected to their work. That's not what they care about. So that's why they're bigger. Like, they really don't care. They're good at marketing, though. They're good at making sure people know who the heck they are, and that's the reason why they're pretty much successful for like their 15 minutes of fame. And surprisingly, there's a few out of a bunch that actually gets a longer run, but that's another video in itself. But that is the reason why you see a lot of artists who aren't as good, but yet they have a bigger platform than you, because you're sitting there being sensitive about your work. And me, I can't. Like, I have to separate myself from my work by the time everything's ready to go. That's why I've been putting myself through the pressure of talking to people about my book and showing them what I got going on. Even though I was a little bit scared at first, it's like at some point you have to get over it and separate, because that's the only way you're going to be successful. And learning how to take criticism. Like, not everybody's going to like what I write, and that's okay. Like, I'm not for everybody, you're not for everybody, so therefore you shouldn't put so much sensitivity to whatever it is that you're putting out. Yeah. Overall, though, love what you do. The reason why there are people who are very talented and do make it is because they put in their 10,000 hours of working on their craft. They love what they do so much, they are willing to take the long route and learning how to dance better, sing better, paint better, write better, be a better comedian, or whatever. They're really good at what they do because they love what they do. So therefore, they don't mind spending the time, putting in countless hours of working, which I did myself. From 20 to 29, it was so much writing and scrapping out and rewriting and showing people and asking like advice, opinions, staying in my room, typing for hours and hours and hours, and even doing things that people ask me, like, why do I do this? Like, for instance, I choose to work night shift, and reason being is since I'm a person who writes a lot of dark, like, literature, I need to pull my inspiration from darkness. Yeah, so I mean, I can't get, there's only so much inspiration I could get from being like out during the daytime and seeing the pretty flowers and all that stuff and everything's all jolly. There's only so much I could pull from that, even though I do prefer the daytime. But at night, where I live, we got bats, foxes. Every time when I go for my walks at night, I'm always seeing this specific fox. We got deers, we got coy wolves, we got so many things, but we got a lot of rabbits. We got a lot of animals where I live. And they usually come out at night, and I see a lot of things happening at night, and the full moon and stuff like that. So there's a lot of energy to pull from that to be able to write what I write, because people that have read my book so far, they're just like, where are you getting all this from? And it comes from little things like that. So doing things like that and perfecting your craft and putting in the hours and really getting into character and finding your lane, you'll be successful. At this point, I'm rambling, but I think I know that y'all know what I'm trying to say. So therefore, I don't think I need to say it anymore, because I basically said everything that needs to be said. Just don't fall for the pressure. Take your time. But you know what? Don't spend so much time to the point is you're like old now and you could have put your work out a long time ago, but you just never did. Don't do that. Just don't go so far right, don't go so far left. Just have a balance. So that's all I'm gonna say for this video, and I hope it helped. And